Welcome back to MVM. I'm Ryan here today with a Kickstarter preview of upcoming game Radiant Offline Battle Arena, or ROBA for short, from Heel Turn Games. This is a 2-player deck construction game that pits you head-to-head in a simulation of popular PC genre MOBA, which was made famous by games like League of Legends and Defense of the Ancients. In this game, each team is going to field 3 heroes in 3 separate lanes. Now your goal here is to defeat the enemy heroes to defeat the conduits those heroes are protecting. This takes a lot of the elements from the popular MOBA genre and abstracts them a little bit to make it playable in a card game. What you see in front of me here is a game already set up. You're going to start by drafting 3 different heroes from the pool of over 12 possible hero choices to end up with your team. You're going to do this in a snaking order, with each player taking a turn drafting their hero. Once that's done, you're going to look at each of the 3 heroes you drafted, and you're going to take the skill deck from each of those heroes. A skill deck is 10 cards featuring attack, defense, and support cards, and 1 ultimate ability card. You're going to take the 3 decks, put them together, and shuffle them. And this is now the deck of skill cards you're going to use to play the game. What's cool about these cards is that they are a completely variable element. You're putting together 3 different decks to make 1 deck of cards. So if you like constructed deck games like Magic the Gathering, you're going to feel a little bit of that flavor here without actually having to build your deck. You actually just grab those 3 different decks, put them together, shuffle them, and you're good to go. There are so many different combinations of heroes. Like I said, there are something like over a dozen heroes to choose from, so your team of 3 is going to look very different every game you play. In addition to that, you're going to choose 3 conduits. Now, these conduits are double-sided, and the other side gives you an ability that triggers when your conduit is destroyed. So your opponent doesn't necessarily know what all of these conduits do. Some offer support abilities like gaining power. Some do damage directly to opposing heroes. In addition to just drafting heroes, you're also going to choose the items to make up your item pool. You're going to have 3 unique items that you can potentially buy during the game and equip onto your heroes. Normally, these items would be kept face down, but since this is a preview of the game, I'm going to leave them face up so you could take a look. Now, once all of that is done, there's actually one more thing to draft, and that is your deity. Your deity is your ultimate powerful character card that will come out into play once all 3 of your conduits have been destroyed. If your opponent manages to destroy all of your conduits, which will summon your deity, and then defeat your deity, they win the game. So protecting your conduits and protecting your deity is of utmost importance. However, once your deity comes into play, you're going to have a huge advantage against your opponent because this is a very powerful hero card. Once you've set up the game, you're going to assign each one of your heroes to a lane. This is important because each hero can only attack the heroes and conduits that are in their same lane. Once both teams are set up, you draw 5 cards and you're ready to begin the game. A game is played out over 3 phases: the preparation phase, the action phase, and the end phase. During each one of these phases, you're going to be doing a few different things. During the preparation phase, you're going to gain 3 action points and trigger any abilities that go off during the preparation phase. Those 3 action points are going to fuel your actions during the next phase. The action phase is where the actual game is played. You're going to take those 3 action points you generated and spend them on a variety of actions. I will go through them one at a time. First, you have your move action. You can take one of your heroes and you can move it to a different lane. This both offers a benefit in that now you are fighting a different hero 2-on-1, but it also leaves one of your conduits free to attack from the opponent. So you need to be careful when you're moving. The next thing you can do is attack. This is where you take your hero, you'll commit them to the action, which means turn them sideways like this to show they're taking an action, and you'll attack either the hero directly or the conduit. Now, if you attack the hero, there's nothing they can do about it. The hero is going to take the damage. However, if you attack the conduit, they have the option of coming in and blocking with their hero as well. If the defender decides to engage in the clash instead of just passively defending, they will also commit to the defense. Once an attack has begun, each player is going to look at their hand of 5 cards and choose a card to add to that conflict. This is called a clash, and you'll notice that some of these cards actually have specific abilities that key off during a clash attempt. These cards are going to add attack, defense, or special effects that are going to change the battlefield in some way. Each player in turn takes one of their clash cards, puts it face down next to the hero they're using to clash with. So at the same time, you'll flip your clash cards, you'll add whatever attack or defense or special abilities you have, and you'll deal damage back and forth to each other. If a hero is eliminated, meaning they've taken damage equal to their health, they are just removed from the game for now. You can actually bring back these heroes during a later stage. If a conduit is destroyed, that conduit is flipped over and its destruction power will trigger. Once all 3 of your conduits are destroyed, that is when you will summon your deity, and it will actually take the place of one of your other heroes. The next action you can take is to recover, and that takes a committed hero, recovers them so that they're free to take more actions in the future. As you take these actions, knock out enemy heroes, and destroy these conduits, you're going to be gaining power. Power is a currency that can be turned in to level up your heroes. You'll notice each of these heroes has an XP value. If you manage to pay that XP in power, you can flip this character over to its upgraded side. You'll notice they not only become more powerful, but their abilities get better as well. So this is another action you can take on your turn. Another thing you can do, you can manifest your deity. Your deity will actually come in and take the place of one of your other heroes and into the battle. Now remember, once this deity is destroyed, you lose the game. So you want to be careful bringing that deity out. The last thing you can do as an action is use the talents of some of your skill cards and some of your heroes. These are going to tell you that they are talents, so you know when to use them. It costs an action point to use a talent, and they can only be used once per turn. After the action phase, you move on to phase 3, which is the end phase. Now during this phase, you can actually revive one of your knocked out heroes. You do this by spending 5 power. You take the hero from the discard pile and you place them back in any one lane of your choice. Now, if you would have multiple heroes or even potentially all 3 of your heroes destroyed, you can actually sacrifice one of your conduits, take the conduit destruction ability, and revive all of your heroes. If they had been upgraded before, they will come in as their upgraded form. Once you've decided if you're going to revive or not, you can look at your shop. Like I said in the beginning of the game, each player is going to set aside 3 items. Each item has a power cost, and they're going to take that item if they wish to pay the cost and then equip it to one of their heroes. Then you simply draw one more card, add it to your hand, and then pass turn. So you have to be careful about leaving some of your heroes committed. If you end a turn with many of your heroes committed, it's going to be very easy for your opponent to come in and deal damage directly to these conduits. Play is going to continue back and forth in this fashion until one player wins, either by destroying all the conduits and the deity, or by forcing you to draw your last card. If you do that, if your deck is empty, and you go to draw at the end of your turn and you cannot, then you simply lose the game. There's a lot of back and forth push and pull in this game. You're going to beat down your opponent's heroes, they're going to be destroyed, you're going to deal damage to their conduits, they're going to revive, they're going to come back, they're going to push back against you. There is always something happening, and there is always a lot of direct confrontation happening in this game. So that is an overview of how ROBA is played, but there's so much more going on here that I could possibly describe in one video. You've kind of gotten a hint at the variability of this game. I was talking about drafting the different heroes, choosing your different items for your shop, choosing a different deity, choosing different conduits. There are synergies amongst all of these different cards that aren't going to come out during your first play. You're going to want to play this game a lot and sample all of the different heroes, try different hero combinations, and see how their cards come into play. So you are getting a ton of replayability here. This game, I think, is ripe for possible expansions with new champions being released throughout the year. And I know they are talking about organized play. They'd love to get tournaments and things like this going. So take a look here at this game. Take a look at the Kickstarter page. Let me know what you think about it. Leave some comments, ask some questions. I will be more than happy to answer them. Thank you for watching. If you want to like us on Facebook, subscribe here on YouTube. That way you don't miss any of our content. That would be great. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Thank you.